Hello everyone, happy Wednesday and welcome to a special midweek live. Of course it is Christmas in July. We're celebrating Christmas in July all month. I want to let you guys know before we get started that the products I'm using in today's live are all from Altenew and they were gifted to me, but all opinions are my own. And I'm featuring the July release, which is Christmas related and absolutely incredible. So Mitzi from Altenew is in the chat. You guys might have seen her there. If you have questions about the products, she's here to help you out. And if Brendan is here, he'll be linking and adding links to what I'm using as well. So I hope you guys are excited for a midweek live. I know I am. One of the great things about having the midweek live today is I will not be live Friday this week. I just want to remind you of that before we jump in and get started because I will be out of town. I just checked in for my flight, so I'm all ready to go. Oh, not the mic. Think the laptop is picking it up. Oh, are we having troubles? Oh, shoot. I got it. Hold on, everybody. Hi. How's that? Does the sound better? I had to restart my computer. I apologize. How does the sound now? Thumbs up? Do I need to say everything that I just said again? Let me know. Okay, Brendan, let's see if Brendan is telling me it's picking up from the laptop. Is it better now, Brendan? Text me. Okay, I am sorry. So I had to restart my computer, not because of my software or anything like that, but for something completely unrelated, and I think it kicked me out. Okay, so does the sound good to everybody now? Very low. Huh. I will check, but you may have to turn your sound up, but let me check really quick. Oh, Brendan says it's fixed on his end. And let me look. We just fix things on the fly here. That's the joy of being live, isn't it? Brendan, let me not loud. You're good. Okay. We're going to proceed. Unless Brendan pops in and tells me, because he watches me remotely, and so he will pop in and tell me if it is not okay. Okay, so sorry, everybody. I should have checked that. Okay, so as I was saying, welcome to Christmas in July. We are having a special midweek edition. I am using Altenew product, and Mitzi is here to answer any questions. Brendan, I don't know about that. Sorry. Let's troubleshoot that later if you think it's good enough for now. Let's see. Perfect. Yes, it was picking up before. Okay, so sorry. Hey. Hi, everybody. So let's talk about what product we're using today, shall we? I'm super excited. We're going to try to get 3 cards done. I am very, very excited about all of these products. What I want to say is I'm trying to hit a lot of different styles through this Christmas in July. So last Friday, we did definitely more cutesy, the Spellbinders, clubs, and all of that good stuff. And you know, cute little critter penguins and reindeer and all of that good stuff. And today we're going to switch it to the other side and do a little bit more elegant. And I don't know about you guys, but I love all different styles. And there are some incredible new products in this release that lend themselves really nicely to creating some elegant style Christmas cards. Oh, good. Julie just checked in for her flight too. Definitely come find me, Julie. Hi, Donna. Jill says it's a beautiful release. It's absolutely incredible. So I'm going to flip the camera. I'm going to have the picture-in-picture here so you can still see me. We're going to talk about all the things I'm going to be using from the release in my video today, and then we're just going to dive into some fun card making and get ready. It's going to be super, super fun. All right. Love the new Altenew Poinsettia products. I agree. You're going to see those. So there's a couple of products from this release that I feel like are fantastic basics. And then there's the fun things that we want to add to those basics. One of my favorites would not have to be Christmas specific, and this is the decorative frames. And all of my cards today are going to feature the decorative frames. What I love, it's a 3D embossing folder. You have 2 different options for frames. And of course, we have the coordinating dies. So you're going to want to die cut your frames, pop them in the embossing folder, and then die cut. And I'm going to share how I created some gilded style frames, or just very traditional, elegant style frames with these today. So that is my number one, because I think it's just so versatile and can be used in a lot of different ways. Oh, good. Rochelle just got home from work. Fantastic. Then, of course, I've seen so many of you mentioning the Lush Botanicals Poinsettia. I knew I had to have this. I absolutely love poinsettias for Christmas. I love creating with poinsettias, and this set creates the most stunning poinsettia. So, of course, we have our 3D embossing folder, and then we have the coordinating dies. And just like with the frame, you're going to want to die cut your flower pieces, place them in the embossing folder, and then run them through your machine with your embossing sandwich to get that amazing texture. Yay! Brit Mama says, yay, caught your live. Awesome. Catching me while on vacation, Melanie says. Oh, that's exciting. How fun. Okay, I don't know about you guys, and if you've watched me for any number of years, you know that if it has a mug in it, I want it. This is the Scenes in a Sip stamp set, and you create amazing mug scenes with this, plus there's lots of fabulous sentiments. Let me open up the packaging here to show you what is inside. So good. Absolutely beautiful. It shows you exactly how to build out all of those things, all of the mugs. You can do a shadow if you want to. And of course, there are coordinating dies for this as well. My other basic go-to, if there is greenery involved, I use it on every card always, and we're going to do that today as well. The Festive Greenery from Altenew is incredible. It works with so many different things. You can cut it from all kinds of different paper. Imagine, I'm doing greenery today, like traditional greenery, but die cut some of it from some vellums, specialty papers, and include that into your cards. And it looks incredible. So here's a little peek at how some of those go together. And we are going to be utilizing this throughout. And then finally, we're also going to be using the Holiday Adornments stamp set, which is a stamp layering set. And we're going to be using the ornament from this and the bow, but everything in here is amazing, and there are coordinating dies. So let's just take a little quick peek inside of the packaging to show you how everything stamps and goes together. As always, Altenew always gives you all of the steps and takes a lot of that work out of it. Okay, so before we get started today, I do want to let you know that Altenew is offering my viewers a coupon code, an exclusive offer for today and tomorrow only. 50% off storage pockets, the 7.5 by 10 3/4 storage pockets, if you use the code Nichol Live 1. And that is also listed in the description box below the video here on YouTube. And definitely pick up some storage pockets. I know that I need to go pick up some storage pockets for my new stamp sets too. It is. Cynthia says it's a jam-packed set. It totally is. Let's see. Tamia, is it Tamia or Tamia? I probably am not reading that right. Just ordered the mug set. Oh, can't wait for it to arrive. It's so good. Okay, let's just let's see what order I put these in today. Shall we do the mug card first? Let's do. Leah, I'm supposed to be packing and getting ready to leave, but might have to do a little shopping first. I told Brendan that this is the first time ever I am packed. All of the things are ready. So I'm just working. I'm just making some cards. Who knew? Let's start with our frames. I'm going to keep those out first because that is kind of, again, what we're building everything from. So for our first card, we're going to do the mug related card first. Oh, Jill says, thank you for the 50% off. You are so welcome. Thank you to Altenew for offering that for my viewers today. That's so awesome. So I have die cut my frame, and I'm going to use the square frame first. And when I have anything like this, I like to flip over my embossing folder, and you can feel which side has the indentation in it. And we're just going to place our frame right inside, like so. And we're going to shut that. And I like to double check. Does this look good? Yes, it does. Oh, it looks like a lot of people love mug dies. It's not just me. That's why they keep making them for us, right? Because we all love them. Then you want to use the 3D embossing folder sandwich for the die cut machine you're using. I'm using the Spellbinders Platinum 6. So for me and a 3D embossing folder, you're going to want to use your platform base, A, your embossing folder with your cardstock in it, and then an adapter plate. And we're just going to roll that right through. Now I started with a it's a neutral color cardstock here today. Not a plain white and not really an ivory, although ivory I think would be good, and really white would be fine as well. A craft cardstock would also be good. It just kind of depends on what you want. Even without any inking or anything else, the embossing on our frame is incredible. Look at that detail, you guys. How amazing is that? Sometimes I struggle with lining things up. I will tell you that I have tried out all both the embossing folders. I've tried all of them out before the live, and they all worked perfect the first time, and that made me super happy. Now I want to add a little bit of a decorative look to this. Like I said, I want to do something kind of like a gilded look or frame. So what we're going to do is really easy. I am a huge fan of a direct-to-paper type of look. And what we're going to do, a lot of times with embossing folders, I love a white pigment ink brushed over the top, but that's not going to give us a gilded look. What we're going to do today is we're just going to take a clear embossing ink pad, and I am going to hold it with my tweezers to help keep my fingers out of it. And we're going to just rub this like we would with a white ink pad over the raised area. And we're going to have to work in a couple of sections. And we're going to take a little bit of gold embossing powder. Monique says, is that the same piece of paper, right? I know. It's amazing what an embossing folder will do. It's why I love this so much. So we've rubbed a little clear embossing ink on here, and now we're going to just go ahead with our gold or antique gold, whatever color you like, embossing powder, and we are just going to place that right on here. Let's see how much maybe I got my embossing powder on more. Okay, I think I missed one corner, and that's fine because I want to hold it with my tweezers. So let's go ahead and heat this first. Oh, good. Betty says she just bought 3 packs of storage pockets. Fantastic. We always need more storage pockets, don't we? And what we're going to do is we are going to heat this up. And all of those raised areas are what gripped the ink. So it's going to give us this really awesome, gilded, elegant frame. I'm kind of obsessed. with this entire look. I'm obsessed with these frames, number one. Okay, let's make sure we got all of this. Oops, and I'm gonna, ouch, and I'm gonna burn myself. Okay, look at that. Oh, Donna says she guessed wrong. She thought I was going to use the Tim Holtz Gilded Wax. I thought about it, but this was super duper easy. Okay, so that last little corner, I am going to add a little bit more, and we'll just do that last little corner. Oh, good. Hi, Christopher. It's nice to see you. Cynthia and Michelle, you guys are too sweet. Okay, let me finish this corner of my frame. And check out that. It actually looks like it's not cardstock anymore, which is so fun. I love, love, love that. All right, so our frame is all finished. And we're going to work on our background, and then we're going to work on our elements for our card. This card is going to be the only one today that I'm doing landscape rather than portrait. And what I imagine here is we're going to position, no matter which way we're putting our card base, we're going to position the frame kind of over to one side, and then we're going to build out from the frame. It just kind of serves as a great grounding spot for everything. What embossing ink? It's an antique gold embossing ink. I'll have Brendan pop it into the chat for you. So what I'm going to do for my background is I'm going to use this opportunity to use a little color. And I am using the same neutral color of cardstock for all of my pieces today. I don't really know why I did that, but I did. And we're going to grab, let me find the right color. This card is going to feature some nice kind of aquas. I tried to do a different color combination for each of my card bases. So we're just going to do a simple blending, a simple blending of ink into this. I'm convinced. Oh, thanks, Monique. Oh, Donna likes my nails, so festive. Thank you. Seal wants to know if these size folders fit the sets I'm using today, like the frame set, sip set, and poinsettia. I think so. Mitzi, I'm going to let you tell if I am saying wrong, but I'm almost positive that they will. And specifically, let us know if the scenes in a sip will fit in those storage envelopes that are on, that I have the coupon code for, please. Thank you. So I think what we're going to do, let's start with a little Volcano Lake ink. And I'm just going to blend this into the background a little bit first. And I'm going to start along the bottom edge, and I'm just going to turn my cardstock. And I love a good aqua and red especially, for more of a kind of modern, even though we're doing more of a traditional style Christmas today, but more of a modern look for Christmas. And I'm going to concentrate that ink down here along the bottom first. Just like this, and we're going to keep working it in until I'm happy with that. Hi, Holly. Good to see you. And then we're just going to kind of take whatever ink was left and bring that up towards the top for a really pretty, subtle kind of ombre effect. I'm just going to go over this bottom area a little bit more. You could start with white cardstock as well, because we're really not maintaining much of that original color for our background. This is such a gorgeous color of ink. So I think that's all we're gonna, I'm only doing really one color per background. I just wasn't sure which one I wanted here. Okay, now that we have that, and we have our pretty little frame, and I'm not going to attach it quite yet. We're going to use a little foam on the back of it here in a minute. Let's go ahead and stamp. And we want to stamp our scene in a sip here. So let me grab my stamp set. And let's talk about what we're going to use for this. Donna says, question, are the Altenew ink pads similar to Simon Says Stamp ink pads? No, I think they're a little bit different. I think they are fantastic for stamp layering. They're also great. You can see how easily they went on. No harsh lines or anything with my ink blending. So yes and no. I would have to get back to you with more of a comparison if that makes sense a little bit later. Mitzi says the storage pockets. She said the exclusive offer fit your Craft Your Life subscription kits, which fit the embossing folders. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And the size is 7.5 by 10 3/4. Tanya likes aqua and red for Christmas as well. Yes, Holly, there is definitely a coupon code. And again, if you are just joining, I'm just going to pop it up here really quick. I promise I'll be right back. Here's the coupon code for the storage pockets. And it's only today and tomorrow. So if you're interested, make sure you take advantage of that. It's July 8th and 9th only. Let's see. I was watching an old video where you made snowman tags for your daughter. Oh, how fun. Okay, so here's, even though I'm going to be gone the rest of this week, so there's not a Friday live, there is a premiere video that will drop Friday at our usual live time, and it is tags, so I hope you guys will check it out. We'll be live in the chat for you guys. All right, so we're going to start, I'm starting with my mug itself, and we're actually going to use a little bit of Volcano Lake, that same color that I just used for my background. And then we're going to do the shading and shadowing with Lagoon. I'm sure you guys were wondering where my tags were, huh? I thought about doing tags today, but as I was planning and designing, sometimes you have to go where the products lead you, and they led me to these cards. Love the frame pieces. The frames are so beautiful. Okay, so there is our first layer, and you'll also notice I am just staying with my same kind of neutral cardstock background for everything today. Any kind of soft taupe, gray, anything like that is a really fantastic base if you want to do something different than white. And then we're going to take our layering piece for our mug. And it really almost falls into place. You can't ask for more than that. And then we're going to use a little bit of the Lagoon ink. If you have shopped the July Altenew release, let me know what you got, or if you're working on your wish list, tell us what's on your wish list. Oh, Monique, thank you, friend. Okay, so look how good, I'm going to hold this up first. Look how good our mug looks so far. The shadowing is incredible. Now, because I'm using the die, I'm not going to use the shadow layering piece. But if you were going to stamp this directly on your card, you totally could. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to pick which scene we want inside of our mug. And there's the cute little trees with the moon, and there's the house scene. And I'm going to do the house scene today. And I'm I'm going to have to flip it upside down because apparently I stamped this upside down. Then you're going to want to grab whatever kind of brown inks you have. And I am missing some brown inks in my Altenew collection, so I need to remedy that. I'm going to use a couple of Simon Says stamp inks to ink this today to give my little coffee look here. And I'm going to stamp this more than once just to make sure I get really good impression. Hi, Tabitha, just hopped on. And very different than you've seen before. Yes, I do love that too. These stamps show so much depth, Kathleen said, and she loves that. I agree. Also, for all of my non-colorers out there, stamp layering is the way to go, right? Wish list, Scenes in a Sip, Festive Greenery, Forest Friends Silhouette Die Set, and some cardstock. I love that. Oh no, Barbara says waiting to see if you can cause me to fail at her no buying month. Okay, I'm going to have to... My brain does not work upside down. I don't know why I did this upside down. Let's scoot this up. And let's get it going the right way. I promise I've already stamped this once and it was super easy. All right, there we go. And then I'm just going to use a shade darker now. Let's see, who else has something on their wish list? Marta shared hers. I'm going to use the next shade darker. And we're going to stamp. And it's amazing. Look at that. Look how cute our little mug is now. Absolutely adorable. Isn't that so fun? Sounds good, Amy. Have a good day. Okay, so I'm going to show you now with the magic of camera. Here is our mug all die cut. Barb says that she tries to keep doing a no-buy month and always fails. The layering stamps, yes, Donna, are absolutely amazing. Monique, the cardstock is incredible. Very, very beautiful. I definitely recommend it. Okay, so here is our little mug. And also with the magic of video, words, I have stamped and embossed a greeting here. Savor the warmth of the season. So that we have our greeting, we have our mug, we have our frame. So this is cute. It's fine, right? It's great. I want to show you one other thing about the coordinating dies for Scenes in a Sip. So we've die cut our mug. Check it out. There is a cute little spoon in here. So I've also die cut this awesome little spoon that we can add to our scene. This is cute and fun, but the reason I say it's great, but it's not really great, this is where your festive greenery comes into play. So I've already die cut a bunch of it. And what we're going to do before we ever start building everything out is you can start playing around with your greenery. And what it's going to end up is we're going to have our mug kind of popping out of the frame, but it's all going to be framed up with this gorgeous greenery, and this brings the entire card to life. This stamp set is amazing. #1 on your wish list, Monique said. I had a feeling a lot of you were going to love this set. So this is kind of where we're going with this. Now, before we start building it up and attach the frame, I'm going to take some of my lighter green pieces, and we're just going to take a little bit of this moss ink. And I am going to add a little shading. I'm not going to do anything for my dark pine branch here. We're going to leave that one as is, I think. But I'm just going to kind of go in here and add a little bit to my lighter green pieces. Not a ton, just a little bit. That little spoon is adorable. Isn't it fantastic? So always check your die sets, because while there's not a stamp for that, the die set has that awesome little detail, and I think it just elevates your mug so much. Okay, and I also have some little red berries we're going to add to these. So that's going to pull in a little bit of that touch of red into our aqua card. I tried to do a different color combination for all 3 of my cards today, so we'll see how that works out. Larissa says squeal. Bernadette ordered Scenes in a Sip, the daisy frames, and Jack Pine. Fantastic. Oh, that's so exciting. I cannot wait to see what you guys all make with your new stamps and dies and embossing folders and stencils, all the things. Monique said the greenery, if I add that, it's missing your magic. No, it's not. You can do it too. It's super easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep out these 2 branches right here because they have spots for our berries. And we're going to go ahead and glue our berries in place. So this one only has 1 on it. And the other one has a little trio. So we'll just put little dabs of glue there. And we'll see if I know where my embellishment wand is. There it is. And what we're going to do is just pop our little berries in here. Just like that. Oh, I forgot to pop out that little piece. Hold, please. There we go. Much better. So pretty. The florals add so much. They totally do. All right, what we're going to do now, I am going to pop up my frame. So I'm going to figure out kind of where I think this is all going to go. We're going to flip this over, and we're going to take some of our Instant Dimension foam tape, and this one is the 1/4 inch, and it's about 1/8 of an inch thickness. And we're going to see if we can make this work on the back of here, or if it's going to be too wide. I might trim it down just a tad. The Craft Your Life kit this month is fantastic. It really is. Monique says that she didn't think she would love a stamp set again. She's a die cut person. You never say never. Okay, I'm just cutting this in half because I was afraid it might be a little too thick. And we're not doing a shaker or anything, so I'm not too concerned about keeping it, you know, flush against each other or anything like that. But I definitely don't want it sticking out the sides. That will ruin the whole look of our beautiful card. Watching while doing your homework for Jingle and Joy. Awesome! How's the homework going? Hope it's going well. I've seen quite a few for the Jingle and Joy event have their homework done. I was like, man, who doesn't wait till the night before to do their homework? Sorry. Just kidding. All right. So we're going to position our little frame right here. I love it popped up so much. And then I want to figure out my little mug. And I am going to just snip off a little straight edge because I want it tucked in just a little bit. No one's ever going to know that we adjusted that just a tiny bit. I'm going to take a little bit wider foam tape. Same thickness, it's just a little bit wider piece, so I don't have to use quite as much. We're just going to put it right down the center for this one. And we're going to tuck it right here. And I'm not worried about putting any other adhesive because we want to be able to tuck all of our greenery in and around. So now you guys know, I mean, when I was actually in school, I did do my homework on time. But now when there's homework for events, do you think I do my homework early? No, I don't. We're going to trim down our little branch a little bit. No one's going to know. And what I like to do now is a little floral arranging. So we're going to kind of start with our base piece and build out. And I'm doing this before I ever glue anything down. We're just going to kind of strategically go in and add some glue here in a minute. Our greeting is going to kind of go out here. We're leaving little placeholders. I don't want to start gluing anything yet. And then we're going to have this little piece kind of coming out over here, like that. And then we're going to have that little piece. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am obsessed with this. That is okay, Nancy. I still have 2 more cards to make today, so you are good. Leah, I just bought all the beautiful things you showed at the beginning. Plus, use the coupon for some sleeves. Awesome! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. Enjoy all of your new things, Leah. So we're going to pop our little spoon down here first. And, oh, they're right here. Let's just do this so it stays put while we work on the rest of our little greenery. I always like to kind of try it out first. Isn't it incredible how all these things work together so beautifully? And it's so elegant. Even with a more modern color scheme with that beautiful aqua color, beautiful aqua colors, it just looks fabulous. With so many fun crafts, homework comes last. I know, but it's at this point in my life, it's crafting homework, and I still wait to the last minute. What is wrong with me? And you can ask, you could even ask my kids, and obviously one of them is here, he works for me, how mad I used to get at them when they did not do or tell me about their homework in a timely manner. I'm sure we've all been there, or many of us have, either ourselves or with children or children we know. Okay, so I've kind of glued all those little pieces. Let's go ahead and tuck this one in and add our greeting. And then I do have one additional thing I want to do for this card before we move on to card 2. So we're just going to kind of tuck that back there. And let's see where I need to add some adhesive. Maybe just out here at the end. A little bit of foam out there. And I think the rest of this overlaps, so we'll put a little liquid glue. Late but made it! Yay! Monica's watching from work and she just looked up. That's awesome. I love that you guys can watch from work. Okay, we're just going to tuck in our little greeting. Just like that. I am going to add like a little glossy accents to the berries when we're completely done. But what I'm going to do now is it's right here, is we're going to grab my little splatter box. And I'm going to grab a little paintbrush too. I want to add a little bit of splatter to this, but I do not want it to get on to my mug. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to grab a little scrap of paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. I just don't really want any of the splatter going on that. And then grab your favorite splatter medium. Brendan, I forgot to add the Simon Says Stamp White splatter. Will you add that for me, please? I'm not judging at all. No judgment here about when you get up, when you go to bed. We do not care. So we're just going to add a little bit of white. Actually, I don't really want this on my sentiment either. We're just going to use some scrap paper to cover those up. But I do want it in the background, on my greenery. And I sort of lied. There is one more thing we're doing for our greenery too. But we're going to add this to the background, and we'll add all of the final step to the greenery when we're done with all of our cards today, because they're all going to get it. All right. Oh, Barbara, you know me. We are using the grit paste on the greenery. We're going to wait, though, till the end. I'll do all of them all at once. So we're just going to grab those and remove that. That way we don't ruin our beautiful little mug scene. But look how gorgeous. That greenery is everything. It just adds the perfect touch to our cards. I am, however, going to do the glossy accents right now and let that be drying. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you, Carrie. Wrapping granddaughter's 4th birthday presents. Oh, Barbara, that sounds amazing. What a wonderful gift. Happy birthday to your granddaughter. And some of the berries are back behind the mug, so we're not going to worry about those. We're just going to put it on here. And we're going to set this aside to dry, both the splatter and our glossy accents. So we can move on to card number 2. How gorgeous is that? Love, love, love. Let's just clean up all of this really fast so we can concentrate on the next card. We'll put all my trash in here. I'm going to use that for something else, though. We'll definitely have to use this leftover mug for another card. Okay, number 2. We're going to go ahead and use our second stamp set that I'm featuring today. Our last card will be die cuts mostly. We'll have a stamped greeting. And this is not this one. Whoopsies. This is our holiday adornments. And we're going to have ornaments and the bow. And you guys, they are so gorgeous. Larissa says, even though she's enjoying summer, the snow splatter is making her excited for the cooler temps. Absolutely. All right. So I did do a couple of these steps off camera because they're going to be very similar to the last one. So I have my background. I did take a sentiment from our holiday adornments, and I stamped and embossed that in silver on my background after ink blending in a little bit of, I actually did the lightest color here. I did a little Arctic color onto my same background. It completely changes the look. So similar to the last one, but this time I did use this frame. So this shape of frame, and I did a little silver embossing powder instead of gold. That part is all the same. We have beautiful greenery. We're going to ink again for this. But what we want to feature first is we do want to stamp our images. So I've got another piece of cardstock. Laura Laura says time to lower the thermostat and drink some hot cocoa. I love it. So we're going to do 2 ornaments and the bow. And for my ornaments, we are going to stamp them. So I'm going to show, let me grab all my pieces really quick. The ornament has 5 layering pieces. I'm using 4. We're going to use the base. We're going to use layer 1, layer 2, and then this decorative one as the final one. We're going to stamp and emboss. I would definitely recommend letting your cardstock dry first. So I do have that step done off camera, but there is this little ornament topper as well. So if you weren't going to stamp and emboss this, maybe you want to stamp that in a solid color and then stamp and emboss this, or do this in a dark, you know, black or something on top. You definitely could. So we're going to do the ornaments first, and I'm doing them in shades of blue. So our last card was more aquas. This is going to be a very elegant silver and blue style card, and we're just going to get started with our first one. And for this one, I'm going to start with, did I do Arctic first or did I do? Hold please while I find my inks. Okay, so this is the color combination I'm using. And I think I actually ended up not using Arctic for this. What we're going to do, the first one is only going to feature 2 colors, even though there's 3 layers. So let's start with our Caribbean sky. And I want to make sure I get a good base here for that. Yes, Susan, they do come with dies. Let me show you really quick. So the bundle comes with dies. Brendan, will you pop the bundle for holiday adornments in here again? And the dies come for this. There is, so for your berry branch, your bow, your reindeer, the tree, and the ornament, which is what's on here. There's not one for the sentiment, and for that, I stamped it directly onto the background. And I'm doing that same sentiment for my final 2 cards. Storage bags for stamps and dies. Elaine, I'm glad you asked. I have a special offer for you guys today during my live. So today and tomorrow, if you would like to get the storage pockets to store any of your stamps and dies, Altenew is offering 50% off with code NicoleLive1, which is an awesome, awesome deal, and it will fit any size of these. All right, so that's our first one. Monique wants to know about re-inkers for the inks, and I believe yes, but I will make sure Mitzi answers correctly. Okay, I need to keep that out. I lied, so sorry. And then we're going to take number 2 for this. Just going to line that up. So I'm doing 2 blue ornaments, but I did not want them to be exactly the same. So Caribbean sky is my base, and now we're going to go in with some Persian blue for the layering. And that's going to leave us with a really nice little highlight there. And we're going to let that sit for just a second. Let that ink absorb. And I'm going to go back. We're just going to switch over and do our second ornament really quickly. And I'm going to start with the base on this. And again, this time I'm going to use that Persian blue, the same color that I just used for the first layer, for the second one. So one of the ornaments will be darker than the other. And I want to make sure, again, it's a really nice, solid first stamping. Then we're going to go ahead with stamp this. We're going to just not even worry about the second layer for our second ornament, and we're going to just do layer number 3. And this time I'm going to use sapphire. Okay, Barb wants to know if on auto delivery, when do the July kits get sent out? So we'll see what Mitzi says here. And there is my second layer. It looks a little, like at first I thought, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this. You guys, I totally love it. So we're just going to let that be. I'm going to clean off my stamp. And now we're going to take layer 3. So this one has layers 1 and 3. The first ornament is going to have 1, 2, 3, but instead of using a third color for my third stamping, I'm actually just going to use my Persian blue again, because I don't want both of them to be super dark. It's not going to be super noticeable, but it will give you a little bit of difference. All right. Now, I did this last step off camera. I'm going to show you how to line it up right here. The reason being is I wanted to let my inks completely dry before embossing, and I was afraid that maybe they wouldn't on camera. So then what I am going to do is take my layer 4 and line that up with our stamp for the beautiful definition. And I'm going to stamp and emboss that in white. And with the magic of video, this is what they end up looking like when that ink is all dry. Look how pretty they are. It lines up really easy, Monique. Very, very easy. And Mitzi says subscription renewals are on the 27th of every month. I love it. I am Mary Sue says she's making her husband watch with her so he knows all the stamps and dies he needs to buy her. Perfect. I love that. So pretend that we did the embossing, okay? There's a little bit of pretending happening today just because we want to make sure we end up with the best possible stamped impression. Okay, we're going to take the bow next, and the bow, you guys are going to find a million uses for this bow, not just holiday cards. It is stunning, stunning. So we're going to start, did I use Arctic or did I use, how do I not remember which one I used? I didn't. I used Caribbean Sky. And if it's wrong, we'll just redo it. So I'm going to start with Caribbean Sky as my base layer. You're going to use this bow for everything. It is gorgeous. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it twice just to make sure that base layer is beautiful and solid. Oh, she says she like Spellbinders. They offer a subscription. Yes, it's about 7 different subscription kits. And if you want, I can definitely update the description after the live with a link to that page on Altenew's site so that you can check them out. Then we're going to take layer number 2, and you guys, the bow goes together so easy. And layer number 2 is going to be our Persian blue color. Okay. You know what I really love about these ink pads? First of all, the colors are great, but I do like that the lids screw on so that when I drop them on the floor, I don't end up with ink pad directly onto my floor, which is what has happened many times. Okay, there is our next layer. You can see it already coming to life. That third layer of this bow is magical. Absolutely magical. Island Wendy says, why has she not heard about subscription kits with Altenew? Yes, we'll definitely add a link to that for you guys, so you can check it out and see what you need to join. Okay, our third and final layer for our bow. And of course, this time we are going to use our sapphire, our nice dark blue color. And this is what's going to give our bow all that definition. No matter what color you're using, if you're using your reds, make sure you use that darkest color for your final image. And look at that. Look how much detail that bow has. It is gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. Kathy says island windy because you are on an island. Oh, the chat's getting kind of punchy. Oh, Nancy wants Mitzi to know she just received her August subscriptions. Oh my goodness, how exciting. All right, so again, the magic of video. We've got ornaments, we've got a bow, and we have some greenery. And I did die cut my largest greenery piece, but I trimmed it down again. I found that trimming down that piece today really worked the best for me. Let's go ahead and get rid of inks that I'm not using so I stop picking up all the wrong colors. We're going to go back to a little bit of moss. Just loving these blues. I'm so glad, Crafty Acorns. All right. Let's go ahead and add a little detail because the magic for all of these cards today, and I think what really makes them more interesting, is our beautiful greenery. Greenery is to me, is such an important part for your holiday cards. It can dress up and completely change the look of so many of your different designs. And as you're going to notice here in my cards today, I'm using it with a lot of different sets, and it works with all of them. So it's just, to me, a great, great basic. Fabulous size as well. They're not super teeny tiny, which I love. Oh, you guys, the bows for the win. I knew you would love the bows. I knew it. Okay, so for this card, I sort of felt, I only am using one branch that has berries, and I kind of felt like red berries were not going to work. So we're going to have some little sparkly white berries for our card here. And we're just going to pop those onto this branch. Like that. And I think this is a different branch than I used for the other one. There's about 3 different branches that have berries on them. And then we're going to come back here to our frame. And just like before, I kind of want to talk about the placement of the elements. So we're going to be tucking our ornaments into this frame like so, and adding greenery all around. I wonder if I did this different. We'll play with it and see how I did it. I have no idea. I do not remember. I laid it all out earlier, and then, you know, I changed my mind. Oh, I think I did like maybe something like this. Anyway, we'll play with it, get it where we want. After we have our greenery, we're also going to tuck in both of our ornaments, but what I really want to do then is I also want to have my bow tucked in here right at the top of my frame. And that really rounds it all out gorgeous. So let's glue that first. The bow is gorgeous. Thinking of embossing glaze on those ornaments, that would be great. Yes, glaze, sorry, I'm reading the comments. Glaze, paste, all of that. Okay, a great question from Laura. She said, did she miss about the numbers printed on the acetate? No, you did not. I did not mention it, so thank you for bringing it up. Let me show you a close-up look. Yes, ma'am. They have them labeled. There is no guesswork involved. It shows you exactly D1, D2, D3, D4, D5 for the ornament. I did leave out a couple steps here and there. You definitely can do that, but it also makes it really easy not to. There is D6, so if you want to hang this from a branch, you could definitely do that. Bow is C1, C2, C3, etc. So yes, there it's printed right on there. There's absolutely no guesswork. And you guys, one thing Altenew does and does fabulous, in their sets, the packaging shows you everything. And it's very beautifully done. It gives you some color suggestions, which is another fabulous little thing that they do. But all of the guesswork is taken out of it for you. So good, great question. Thank you for asking. All right, so we've glued that up there to the top. We're going to flip it over and do our foam again. Love the background goes so well. Thank you. And I always just like to alter my foam a little bit as needed. I might have cut that a little too long. Let's snip that down a little bit. And remember, this is the other shaped frame. I used the square one before, and now we're using a little bit more ornate style. And I think we can just put a little piece up here. And I'm going to do a little piece down here, but I think I'm going to leave the rest of it because we have some stuff to tuck in. That bow, I know, isn't it gorgeous? Jill says, take a picture because you'll forget by the time you go for the glue. You know, I do that quite a bit. I figured, though, we'll figure it out one way or another. Okay, so we're going to put our frame down here first. Aren't those silvers with the blue just gorgeous? Oh, I love them. And we're going to put a little piece of foam back here behind our ornament, kind of just in the center, because I want to be able to tuck my greenery. And we're going to start with one ornament first. And it's going to kind of be back here behind that side of the frame. Do you have a link to get the frames? I sure do. Brendan, will you please pop a link in? The frames are incredible. You guys, I mean, all kinds of cards, not just Christmas or holiday. Everyday cards as well. We're going to tuck that there. I need to look here. This one's going to be kind of tucked in. I think that needs to actually go out here on this side. Just a tad. There we go. Just got out of an appointment. Catherine, you're totally fine. I still have one card I want to make today. I have lots of cards to make today. I love this release. I was just telling Brendan this morning, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Okay, we're going to kind of glue that along this edge. I might have to secure that a little bit better here in a minute. And we are going to snip this one, perform just a little surgery. You can alter it. You do not have to keep it just the way they come. If they're a little too long or they won't tuck, your greenery won't tuck back behind the elements you want them to, don't be afraid to alter them just a little bit. So we're kind of tucking this one. I want it slightly underneath parts of the bow and slightly above. There we go. There, it's coming together. And then we do want to tuck in our final ornament. And I want this one kind of back behind. Whoopsies. Well, let's not ruin our greenery. That's going to ruin the whole thing. Let me tuck that underneath better. And we want to kind of tuck that in. There we go. Tuck that in there. And then I'm going to make sure I've secured my greenery up here. Just like so. I think I might have originally had that up a little bit or down a little bit lower. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. I think, let me see where I put it. I am going to cut one more little branch. So we're going to go in here. We're changing things on the fly, as one does. And I'm going to cut one more little branch because I think I meant to have something else hang down a little bit lower. So we're going to fix that really quick. Give them a little haircut. I like that, Donna. Yes, give your die cuts a little haircut. Okay. Yes, this is what we want to do. I think originally I had this hanging down because there's a little too much space for me between the frame and our greeting, but nothing that a little additional greenery won't fix, right? Ha! I'm going to give this one a little haircut as well. Let's fix that. And yes, just like that. Yes, yes, yes. Susan, I added the first link. Oh, yes, you don't have to come back and do another link. No. You're totally fine. Thank you for asking, but yeah, no, you're totally good. You can just use that first link. That looks much better. Don't you guys agree? And that kind of helps bridge that gap between the bottom of the frame and our greeting. Just like that. And of course, we are going to add a little splatter to this as well. I had thought I might use silver, but I think I'm going to go back and use the white again. The blue and silver combo is wintry and perfect for non-Christmas friends. Absolutely. And I love that the sentiment is just kind of a holiday sentiment. So it's definitely great. And you could pick any sentiment. There's lots of great sentiment sets out there that you could use. Okay. Do I want... No. I was going to say I don't want too much splatter on my ornaments or really on my bow all that much. So a little bit's okay, but we're just going to cover it up a tiny bit so we keep more of that splatter on our greenery and background. So just cover up elements if you don't want them to have that wintry splatter look. And it does dry a little bit lighter than what it goes on. Monique says that the die cuts look amazing. The pines are so delicate. They are, but they're not so delicate that they're hard to work with. And this is a small thing, maybe not so small a thing for us paper crafters. They die cut beautifully the first time. Even though it's really intricate, it's not hard to die cut. And I appreciate that a lot. Look how cute our little snowy background is. We kept most of it off of the ornaments so that they really shine and that bow. And I'm going to let this dry too. We're not quite done. We are going to add a little flocking because you guys know how much I love to add the grit paste. And let's go ahead and work on card 3. This is going to be our die cut heavy card. Well, they're all a little die cut heavy, but this one is going to feature our poinsettia. So just like before, although we are going to go ahead and emboss our frames and things again, because there's a lot of embossing to do for this one. And I wanted to show it to you guys again because I think it's important to show that since it's such an awesome technique. So let's go ahead and just start with our background really quickly. I'm going to take a little bit of my moss ink. I already have my greeting on here stamped and embossed with some gold embossing powder. This is going to be, oops, that's really dark. Well, this one's going to be really dark. We are going to do a very similar design. This is a portrait style card. And this time our greeting is going to be up above our frame. So I'm just going to pull that ink clear up over the embossing. It will resist the ink. We'll buff it away here in a minute. I'm going to have to add a little bit more because I was a little aggressive with my inking. That's okay. We don't mind. Every card's a little different, right? The color is, oh, I'm glad you love it. Oh, how fun, J-Med Stitch. That's so awesome. Oh, the white splatter, Susan, I will have Brendan pop it into the chat for you. All right, so here's our little background. Again, I've kind of kept with a very similar background because and very simple. Yes, there's a little ink blending on it, but we want to keep the emphasis on the gorgeous stamps, or in this case, dies. All right. So now that we have that, and now that the mess is back, I swear I try to keep it clean every time, and every single week or every live it turns into an absolute disaster. So I've got my embossing folders, and we're going to pull out our poinsettia layers, our poinsettia leaf layer, and our frame, and we are going to emboss them. Especially if you just joined and you didn't get to see this at the beginning where I did this. All of my cards are showcasing the decorative frame. So we're just going to go ahead and line this up and emboss it. What is the base color? Brendan, will you pop it in here? I can't remember the color name. It's going to be the lightest. Oh, shoot. If you can't find it, Brendan, let me know. I can look. Kathleen's favorite color is green. So pretty. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I'm really picky about my greens. We've discussed this in my lives before. Okay, so you put it in, you've kind of fit your die cut. You die cut it first, fit it into the well, run it through with your 3D sandwich, and seriously, every single time it comes out looking like this. Every single time. It's so amazing. Let's go ahead while we have our machine out and let's do our poinsettia. Now, the poinsettia, I should have talked about this. All of these pieces are for the flower, so it has lots of layers. However, this big one, you can cut it twice, and I did cut mine from both green and red because you can use it as the base color or base leaves for your flower. Yes, thank you, Brendan. He said shattered shell. Thank you. So what we're going to do is I am going to emboss everything first. So just like I did for the frame, I flipped open my embossing folder, and you want to fit your die cuts into all of the little wells. I did all of mine at the same time. I'm all about working Smarter, not harder, right? You can do them one at a time if you want to, but I didn't. And I don't. I didn't and I don't. Let's try to do them all at one time. Monique, I think so. However, if you need a comparable color for something else, you can ask and I can, this one's not lined up, hold on. And I can probably give you a comparable if it's a company I know. Okay, so all of our flowers are in here. I'm going to flip it over and look. Oh no, that one's shifted. You know what? Let's just run that through the next time, because I do have to do my leaves. All right. I love those big blending brushes for backgrounds. Me too, Tanya. I haven't done that in a while, so it was really fun. Okay, get ready for the magic. Look at how detailed these gorgeous layers are for our flower. Absolutely stunning. That's what I like. I think this is what makes this flower so incredible. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to do, I die cut it again, remember, so that I could, whoops, have my, let's do it the right way, so that I could have some leaves. And we'll go ahead and do this in our final little layer. The name of the red, forgive me, I'm learning all my names of cardstock colors. Brendan, I feel like it's Heartbeat. Am I right about that? If I'm wrong, Mitzi will tell me. Little Lane Cross with Rachel, you've been lurking. Can't wait to see the poinsettia card. I can't wait to show you. It's so pretty. Okay. So we have our final layers. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. Yep, Heartbeat. Woo, I got it right. Everybody has different names for the cardstock colors, and it takes me a little while to learn them all. And even then, I shouldn't make it sound like I'll know. Even then, I may not remember all of them. Okay. Oh, Monique says a lot of brands in Holland have good colors, but the quality is not so good, or they don't take inking well. Well, these do, for sure. Okay, I'm going to take all of my red layers, and I am going to add a little inking. And if you have ever tried inking red before, and you've been really disappointed because the red just disappears into the flower, believe it or not, we're going to be using some sapphire ink today to do our inking. It's not going to, the blue looks good with the red. It kind of gives you that purpley vibe, but it's going to add some nice shading just near the base of each of our flowers. Have you seen the tip on using press and seal to give some stickiness to hold the die cuts? Oh, I haven't, Barbara. I'll have to check that out. That's a great tip. Okay, so I'm going to go in here in the middle using kind of a smaller blending brush for this. Not a mini, because these die cuts are not super small. And we're just going to add some shading. And again, don't be thrown off by the fact that I'm using some sapphire ink for this. It's going to give that wonderful shading for that depth and dimension we want for our beautiful poinsettia. I don't want to completely cover up my red cardstock at all, but I do want it to have a little more dimension than just flat. And it's not really flat, it's embossed, but I still want it to have more. Okay, we're going to do each of these layers. And I'm just kind of trying to concentrate that mostly towards the middle. Leave the edges as is. Do this little layer, just a little bit. These smaller little inner petals. Okay. Sapphire on red. Purples also, if you have a deep dark purple, that would work good. Sometimes I'll use browns or a charcoal gray, any kind of grays, but I really like blue. I think it works good. This sapphire was, when I tried it out, I was like, I think this is going to look good. And it does. I've already made this particular card once. Okay, we're going to take a little moss now. And I am going to add a little bit of detail with my green on green. We're not going to see quite as much of this, so I'm actually not going to worry too much about the center and just kind of go down maybe the sides of these petals a little bit. Just kind of speedy. There we go. Are you a new addition? No, I'm not on the creative team. I'm just doing some videos, which I love. I'm doing some lives, which I love even more. You guys know I love coming here live. All right, now, a little tip for how these go together. In the center of the flowers, if you've not done this before, I don't know if that shows very good. Let's put this against something white. The center of each of these, see, it kind of looks like a little T. You're going to want to line each of the layers up so that they all go the right direction. And I'm going to show you on the packaging. Because that probably would be better. See this little piece here? That's what's in the center of each of our flowers. And you're going to want to line those up. And it shows you right in the packaging how they go and in what order they go so that they line up perfectly. It is so amazing. Pam says, use all the purples. Pam and I just talked about this yesterday. Didn't we? Keyhole system, thank you, for the win. Yes, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glue here. We're going to just ignore our green base for a minute because that's kind of irrelevant. And we are going to start putting these together. And it's going to ensure that each layer goes together perfectly. And I like to put my glue just in the center on each base. Oh, I kind of lost which direction my keyhole is going. There we go. Hold please while I realign. Thank you. I'm going to have to move it real close to my face. There we go. And you just want to make sure you pop each of them out so that you can align all of them. Easy peasy. And then my last layer is going to be the little yellow center, which we will get to here in just 1 second. Let's grab our box of goodies. Thank you. The keyhole makes such a difference, Kathleen says. I agree. So I kind of have all my same greens. We got one little branch here, but we do have our little layering piece. And I did not add any ink to this one at all. You can just pop it in right here. And I think I'm just going to use this one. There's a solid piece. If you want to add the solid piece, you can. On my other card, I did use the solid piece, but I'm just going to leave it just like this. And then see how you can kind of turn your flower and you can have all of the great little leaves poking out, and it creates just the best little base, just like that. How gorgeous is this flower? Now before I adhere it to my card, I'm going to go around and I'm going to kind of bend, especially some of these upper leaves or anything that I think I can kind of get away with doing that. We're going to give our leaves a little bit more lift so that when we put them on our card, it's going to have that little bit of dimension. It's not really going to add a whole lot, but I think it helps. Look at that. This would be gorgeous too if you like to decorate your packages. Can you imagine putting this like on a package as the topper instead of a bow or something? That would be beautiful as well. All right, also, if you weren't here at the beginning, I'm going to do the same thing that I did at the beginning, where we're going to create that gilded looking frame so that we can tuck our poinsettia and pieces in there. And I'm using a clear embossing ink pad to run this over the embossed areas so that the ink kind of is just grabbing onto the raised areas, much like you would do if you were doing white pigment ink or something like that on your embossing. But I want the gilded look here, so I want to use embossing powders. And I've used either some gold or antique gold or silver for all of my frames today. And then we're just going to heat set this. Cheryl says Altenew has the best poinsettias. Yes, ma'am, they do. I agree. And this one is fabulous. The size of it is great too. Oh, and I was going to mention this. So scrapbookers, I know that we have some, I don't see Sandy here in the chat today, but Sandy, and some of you might be too, are scrapbookers or memory book keepers. These frames would be great for photographs, not just to fill with card elements. So another great use for them. Look at our little gilded frame. The poinsettia is a nice size. It would be great for a scrapbook page as well. I could see a lot of really pretty things made with that. Okay. Here's our little gilded frame, which I just love. And this one is going to kind of be positioned right underneath here. And we're going to be popping our poinsettia kind of in the corner and then building our greenery out from the sides. Oh, Laura says this is such a great release. I agree. Donna says, why does it look like velvet? Once you start adding some of the ink layering and that embossing, it really makes a huge difference. So we're going to pop up our frame just like before. Anne agrees it would be pretty for decorating packages. I think so too. I could see using it, maybe popping a little of the greenery around it as well. It would be gorgeous. And they go together pretty quickly. If you had a bunch of them die cut and assembled, now is a great time, Christmas in July, before the craziness of the holiday season. You have them all ready to go. Maybe you have a gift station already. You could definitely do that. Now that I'm saying that, this kind of matches my vibe for gift packaging. I've had the same gift packaging for the last several years. I do really like traditional colors. And because I have so much wrapping paper, I'm like, I really don't need to buy anything new. I'm thinking maybe that's what I'll do this year. I like this idea. Okay, we're going to just pop our frame right here. And we're going to take a little bit thicker piece of foam to put underneath the center of our poinsettia. Right here in the center. But we want to leave everything else loose because we're going to kind of put it right here down in the bottom corner. We're going to start with that and then we're going to build out. And I'm not going to ink my lighter greenery for this one since we have so much green in the background. I think that how did I do my other one? Let's look. I think I did surgery on this one too. Because our flower is so big. Yeah, let's do that. That I didn't want to kind of keep all of my big branch. Can't wait to use the frame for some Halloween cards for sure. Can you imagine there? I bet could be some super cute little Halloween images, especially the same idea with the gilded frame would look really cool. And we're going to put our little lighter limey green. That's the technical term. Not. Out here. And where it touches the frame, that's where I want to add a little glue. We're just going to pop that something heavy on there for a minute. And we do have some little berries that are going to go on this one. And you could ink this, but again, I feel like I have so much green on this card that I kind of want to maintain a little bit more of the lighter green color for this. Christy says, Altenew is so good with florals. Yes. And I was just telling Brendan that this morning. We were chatting about the live today and everything, and I was telling him kind of Altenew is known for their florals. For sure. Oh, and I saw somebody had mentioned, not today, that they kept hearing me say Brendan. Brendan is my assistant, and also he's my oldest son. So if you hear me say Brendan, he works for me, and he helps me out with my lives and things. You know what? I feel like my berry is not showing very good. I don't know that it's going to on this one. That's okay. We're going to leave it as is. Let me go back in here and readjust. Just like that. Okay, now I covered up a lot of my florals and stuff before. Or my images, pardon me, because I didn't want them to have splatter on them. For this, I am not going to mind for my flower. And I am going to use gold instead of white. Jenny says this is why I bought the full release bundle, because she couldn't only choose just a few products from this awesome release. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. You're going to have so many fun things to play with. So I'm going to go all over with my gold splatter. Because I think a little gold splatter works. And I like the gold on this one. White would be fine too, but I kind of was liking the gold for this. And then, of course, we are going to let that dry. Now, we're going to go back to our first couple of cards because there is one final thing I want to add. To all of these beautiful cards. Beautiful. What am I even saying? Don't talk like that. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me see where my little palette knife is. This one will work. And we're going to take a little bit of grit paste. And this is my favorite because it's the opaque. If you want to add a little flocking or snow to your greenery, I love using a white opaque paste. And I'm going to show you, because we're still waiting for the splatter to dry and it probably won't be dry before we're done. Here is what we want it to look like. So this is the goal. It gives that snowy kind of flocked effect to our greenery and our poinsettia. So let's go ahead and do that for our other two cards while that's drying. And I'm going to take just a little bit with the tip of my palette knife. And I like to just kind of touch it to my greenery. And I like a palette knife that kind of has a tip to it a little bit better. Let's get some. Probably going to need another jar of this before the holiday season. Every year I like to get myself a new jar. So it's nice and smooth. It goes on really smooth. But we're just kind of touching it to our greenery. If there's some bigger little globs, that's okay. That's where the snow hit. If you don't want it to, like it's a little, my greenery's loose up here, which is good. I don't really want to touch my bow with it, so I'm just going to hold that up out of the way with my tweezers. Just like that. And let's get that little. Look at our snowy greenery. How gorgeous is that? Oh my gosh. Hi, Mindy. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. I'm going to tap on a little bit of flocking for all of this as well. Use your favorite paste, whatever you have on hand. Even if you wanted a little sparkly, a sparkle paste would also be gorgeous. But these greens are such a fabulous size for using on everything, and I think they just look amazing with that little bit of snow on them. There we go. Ta-da! And there we go. And that elevates them even more. How about that, you guys? In almost 1.5 hours, we made 3 gorgeous, elegant holiday cards using the Altenew July 2026 release products. So here's a little peek at our mug. Our beautiful holiday ornaments and bow. And I did such a light application of the paste. It's going to dry really quick. And of course, this is the one I did off camera. I'll do the other one, the other poinsettia, as soon as that splatter dries. I just don't want to smear any splatter anywhere. And there's the poinsettia card. So let's just move that one out of the way for now. Okay, you guys, any questions for me? Did I miss anything while I was making these cards? The gold always looks fabulous with traditional reds and greens. I agree. Oh my goodness, I am so far behind. Donna, thank you so much for this super chat. That is so kind of you. Thank you. Oh, you guys, I'm so glad you love it. Barbara says, drop dead gorgeous. Barbara, thank you so much, my friend. That's so sweet of you. I work on Christmas stuff year round. Yes. Mindy, I barely get one card done in 1.5 hours. Well, Mindy, you know this. You do it too, that we prep ahead of time. At least I didn't come up with the idea on camera, thank goodness, or we could have been here for a while. Cheryl says she wasn't sure she was ready for Christmas in July. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you, Cheryl. Questions on sentiments. Okay, what was the question on sentiments, my friends? Brendan, do you happen to have that by any chance? Sentiments. Okay, if you're asking what sets the sentiments are from, let's see. They're from the holiday adornments for these 2 cards. I used the sentiment from the holiday adornments, which is the set the ornaments and the bow came from, in case that is the question on that. Mindy, we're supposed to prep? Well, look, I have to prep. What stamp set did you use for the sentiment? Oh, this is the set right here. Holiday Adornments. It's right here. The sentiment is right there. So it's this set with our ornaments, the reindeer, the tree, and the bows. Hope I answered that one. Crafty Acorn says the paste reminds her of the snow spray you cover the Christmas tree. Yes. Oh, Pam, thank you so much, my friend. Question, random stitching question. Okay. Is it better to stitch the edge of your cloth before stitching or leave it? I have done both. Sometimes when I'm feeling lazy, I don't do anything to the edge of my cloth, but sometimes I serge the edges, or you can zigzag too. Okay, you guys, do you have any further questions for myself or Mitzi? Because I'm sure she's probably ready to check out too and do some other things. But if you have any questions about the products, please let us know. What would be the best way to mail a dimensional card like these? Laura said, I really like a bubble mailer. If I have anything that's dimensional, these would definitely fall into that category. I just feel better about putting them in a bubble mailer. And I buy some inexpensive ones off of Amazon. And usually, like if you ever get leftover cardboard packaging from anything, I save it and I will cut it down to fit the bubble mailer so that I feel better about sending my cards. And I don't feel like they're going to get smushed or bent. Oh, yep. J-Med Stitch Girl said, use a bubble mailer. Danielle says she was trying not to buy more holiday sets, but she said that once again, she enjoyed these. So thank you. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad. Okay. So right before I check out, you guys, or sign off words. I guess I'm already on my vacation. I want to remind you that today and tomorrow, I have an exclusive offer for my viewers, 50% off these storage pockets. It's a 10-piece set of the 7.5 by 10 3/4 storage pockets. Use Nichol Live 1 to take advantage of that offer. And thank you so much to Altenew for that and for these beautiful, beautiful products. Okay, everybody. Thank you. If you are watching this on the replay, definitely drop your questions there. We will be checking, even though I'm out of town. I'm taking my laptop with me, and we will get those answered. So have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your week. I will have a premiere video on Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time. I won't be live, but will be live in the chat. So stay tuned for that for more Christmas in July. And I will be live next on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Central Time. Have a great rest of your week. Bye, everybody.